Someone says something minor. A door slams. A text goes unanswered. And suddenly, you're flooded with emotion that feels too big for the moment. You snap, or you shut down, or you cry over something that rationally you know shouldn't matter this much. And afterward, you wonder, why did I react like that? If this sounds familiar, you're not overreacting because you're too sensitive or broken. You're reacting because something much deeper than the present moment is being touched. And it's worth understanding what that is. We use the word overreact as if it's a character flaw, as if some people are just wired to blow things out of proportion. But that's not what's happening. An overreaction isn't about the thing itself. It's never really about the comment, the mess, the canceled plan, or the tone someone used. It's about what's underneath. Psychologically, what we call overreacting is often emotional overflow. It's the result of a nervous system that's been holding too much for too long and finally reaches its limit. The small thing isn't the cause. It's just the last straw. And when you understand that, the reaction stops feeling irrational. It starts to make sense. Emotional overflow. Imagine you're carrying a glass of water. It's full, but you're managing. Then someone bumps into you, just lightly, and the water spills everywhere. The bump didn't cause the spill, the glass was already full. That's what happens emotionally. You're carrying stress from work, tension in a relationship, worry about money, fatigue from never resting, unspoken frustration, unprocessed sadness, the weight of expectations yours and others. And you don't spill. You hold it, you manage, you keep going, until something small happens. A delayed response, a misplaced item, a casual comment. And suddenly, you're flooded with emotion that feels disproportionate to the moment. But it's not disproportionate. It's accumulated. Your nervous system isn't reacting to what just happened. It's reacting to everything you've been holding that hasn't had space to be released. This is called emotional flooding, when the body's stress response is activated not by a single event, but by the buildup of unprocessed emotional weight. And when that flood comes, it doesn't feel like a choice. It feels like something taking over. Because in a sense, it is. Your nervous system is trying to discharge what it's been containing. And it can't distinguish between the thing that just happened and the 100 other things you've been quietly carrying. So the reaction feels big, because the weight behind it is shadow triggers. But sometimes, it's not just about overflow. Sometimes, a specific comment or situation hits you in a way that feels uniquely sharp. Someone criticizes you, and you feel defensive in a way that surprises you. Someone dismisses your feelings, and you shut down completely. Someone interrupts you, and rage rises up faster than you can understand. Why does that happen? Carl Jung called this the shadow, the parts of yourself you've hidden, rejected, or never fully integrated. These are the wounds you carry, the beliefs you internalized, the feelings you were taught not to have. And when someone or something in the present touches one of those old, unresolved parts, it activates them. Not consciously, not intentionally, but deeply. This is what a trigger really is. It's not about being too sensitive. It's about an old wound being pressed on in a new moment. Maybe you were made to feel small as a child, and now when someone dismisses your opinion, it doesn't just feel like disagreement. It feels like erasure. Maybe you grew up feeling unseen, and now when someone doesn't respond to your message, it doesn't just feel like they're busy. It feels like proof that you don't matter. The trigger isn't the event. The trigger is the way the event echoes something older, something unresolved. And your nervous system reacts to the echo, not just the sound. This doesn't mean you're stuck in the past. It means you're human. It means you carry experiences that shaped you. And sometimes, the present reminds you of them in ways you can't always control. Overreacting in this sense isn't irrational. It's your psyche trying to protect a part of you that once felt threatened and still remembers. Modern overstimulation. And then there's the world you're living in. You're not just carrying your own emotional weight. You're navigating a culture that demands constant performance, constant availability, constant optimization. You wake up to notifications. You manage a dozen responsibilities. You balance expectations from work, relationships, family, yourself. You're supposed to be productive and present and put together all at once, and there's no space to slow down. No permission to pause. No room to just feel what you're feeling without immediately needing to fix it or move past it. Your nervous system was never designed for this level of stimulation. It was designed to handle acute stress moments of danger, followed by recovery. But modern life doesn't offer recovery. It offers more. More input, more decisions, more comparisons, more pressure. And when you're stretched that thin, your capacity to regulate emotion narrows. The threshold for what feels overwhelming drops. You become more reactive, not because you're weak, but because your system is already running at capacity. So when something small happens, it doesn't land on a calm, rested nervous system. It lands on one that's already activated, already on edge, already doing too much. And that's when the overreaction happens. Not because you're too emotional, but because you're too full, too overstimulated, too under-resourced. You're not broken. You're just human, living in a world that doesn't leave much room for being human. Closing reflection. If you overreact to small things, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you're carrying more than you realize. It means your nervous system is trying to tell you something. It means there's emotional weight that hasn't had a place to land. And it means you're living in a world that rarely gives you permission to pause, to feel, to process, to rest. The reaction isn't the problem. It's the signal. A signal that something inside you is asking to be seen, to be understood, to be given space. You're not too much. You're not too sensitive. You're not overreacting. You're just holding more than anyone should have to hold alone. And recognizing that seeing it clearly is not weakness, it's clarity.